Wait. Okay. The fuck? The Emperor. Okay. Nuzzle. No, wait, can I use Nuzzle? Crunch. I'll charge. Play rough. Not a bad moveset. Bite. I need Psychic Fangs, maybe? What am I doing? Poison Fang? Thunder Fang? Poison Fang? I think that's it. Oh, Volt Switch? Okay. 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 It's good. We will fish as well in Slateport. Actually, I don't need that right now. Let's just go for the fight. My team, I need... Hold on, let me go the calc as well. Okay. Crossover Honchkrow. He has battle shell armor. Bro. Oh my god, please. New Pokemon. Give me the Crossover, please, God. Go here. This goes... I don't need the... I think that's my team. Wait, do I have Noctowl on my team? No, I don't need them. I think that's good. Mudsdale, Stamina, Hera. And I have the Kilowattrel in case. Annihilate, Frostbite. Russell versus Honchkrow. Yes, okay. We're good. Okay, Black Belt. I need Bulldoze. I need Bulldoze on my fucking thing. Yeah, that's good. Hold on, do they take damage from this? Do they take damage with Frostbite? What am I doing? No damage, right? Oh, let's go. That makes it so much easier. Why'd I go into this? Okay. Route 113, hold on. I have an encounter here. Okay. Where am I? 113. Oh, Fiery Path, I got Slugman. 118, I didn't get anything. 113. Okay. Spin, do I have any manips here? Slack off. No. Just go for it. Oh! Oh, that is huge. That is huge. What percent is that? What percent is that? 10%. Bro, where is my fucking... I don't understand. Oh my god, he sucker punched. Let's go. And he stayed in. Wow. Okay. This fight is free now. Oh my god. Jesus. So wait, he thinks he's normal form, right? So he... 84... He should go for most damaging with no secondary effects. Although, does he two-shot with other shit? 65. 65%. 65. He might go for anything except for Bullet Seed, which is good. Wait, does he kill me? No, he never kills. He never kills me. If I bulldoze him... Wait, am I faster with Mudbray? 50 to 60. Hold on, wait a second. Oh, he kills with Rock Blast. I'm such an idiot. I was calculating the non. Okay, so he always rock. Wait, no. Gotta slow down. 65%. Yeah, he always kills with Arm Thrust, Pin Missile, and Rock Blast. But he never Bullet Seeds. Which is good for Mudbray. Mudsail. No crits, please. No crits. Where's my stamina? I forgot stamina! Oh my god, I forgot stamina, bro. Oh my god. This is so bad. Oh my god, this is so bad. Oh my god, this is so bad, dude. He doesn't kill with anything, but he'll never rock blast. Oh, this is so bad. Nice, he stayed in. Okay, let's go. Alright, we win. What is he doing? He's doing Shadow Ball. 71. 55. We just go Meganium. Meganium still glitched on the calc. I mean, I could do some damage with this, maybe. Yeah, Shadow Ball, 0 damage. Oh my god, I have to remember to status! Jesus Christ. Almost like losing multiple times. Okay. Okay. Just getting my screen set up here. Okay. Okay. Let's start calcing. Where are we here? Wait, does this not work? Okay. Okay. Right here. We just one-shot with this guy. Is follow me banned, by the way? Where's the rule set? Where's my rules? Where's the rule set? What am I doing? Okay. Okay, one shot. Okay, Annihilate definitely goes in. And then what goes in for this? I mean, if I get faked out, I get increased defense, right, on this ground guy. Then I know Giga Drain is coming if, well, he doesn't do any damage. Alright, I think I know my leads, I mean, yeah, same lead as I have. What if I go, like, bait an electric move or something and then switch to Mudsail? Yeah, Water Pulse is too much damage. Wait, if he tries to normally attack... Oh, he's fast, he's fast, he's fast. He's fast. What about Meganium? Bum, 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 bum. Am I faster? I am faster than him. He has Ice Beam, but I'm faster. Okay, we go kill the Watchel. And we switch. We Volt Switch. Then what do we have for this thing? We come in with Muck. And Crustle maybe is there for to tank something. I don't know. This is defensive. Okay. Fuck, I'm not really calcing this a lot. Come in a body slam with Hex Orb. Use Frostbite, please. Poison Touch. Shell Armor. We're good. We need to one-shot. Okay, they did fake out. Yeah, double fake out. I don't care. That gets one shot. Oof, this thing comes in, okay. Now, it can't one-shot my Annihilate, obviously. So, I just break it. Volt Switch this. Aqua Jet doesn't kill him. Oh my god, that does so much. What the fuck? Now I just need to tank something. I tank with Earth Ring. He dies anyways, right? Yeah. my god, he did so much damage. Did I risk a crit there for no fucking reason? I did risk a crit. That one shot? Fuck. Okay, we get our eggs. We get our fucking eggs here. Right? Wait, I need to make space. Okay, wait. Okay, am I supposed to hatch it here or not? Recommended to hatch a starter egg from here. Okay. Now, which starter do I need? I think I need a fire type. Wait, which one was first? Fire was first. Come on. Please, man. Wait! Please! Cyndaquil? Oh my god, Cyndaquil is fucking terrible, right? Okay, what else can I hatch? Verdant turf. Where's the other one that was wrong? Mount Chimney, Verdant turf. Oh, wait, what about Mauville? Mauville? Why not get, like, no encounters are recommended to start it? Wait, where did I just hatch my fucking egg? Fall Fall Arbor. Verdantuf. Fall Arbor. Where's Verdantuf? Oh, that's where the Verdantuf. Yeah, I didn't make it here yet. Alright, let's get the other encounter. Hold on, are they items here? Meteor Fall, Fall Arbor Town, Thunder. Oh, Move Tutor. $114. Dig, yeah. Fossil, yes. Where am I right now? Route 114, okay. Okay, 114. What is fishing? Remoraid's Feel Octillery. Corsola Rock Smash. Articuno G. Yeah, and my... No, I think I go for the... What do people go for 114? Remoraid on 114. I'm supposed to go for Seal and Sfeel. Old Rod. Dugong. Good Rod. Good Rod is same probability. Wait. No, man! Oh. That's really not good. Alright, that's really not good. Okay. Okay, anyways. So I got the Remoraid. Okay, that's all the encounters, I think. Okay, wait. Should I go hatch this? Hold on. Like, Mount Chimney. Mount Chimney and... Yeah, let's just go to, what is it called again? To Verdantuf. So I have to fight those trainers instead of do the fucking snow. Loudred. It should be super easy. Yeah, he has hyper voice. Loudred, let's see. Yeah, 100%. And I'm faster. He has no... He switches this maybe, or this. Can almost waste a turn doing, like, bulldoze. Yeah, he won't really switch this. He won't switch this either. He could switch the bird. Anyways. Regardless. Okay, so for this... I kind of... What do I have for this, actually? Mudbray? Yeah, no, the slow bro is actually crazy against it. Yeah, we have slow bro, and we have, what do we have? Like muck or something? Yeah, knockoff, which is really nice. Can't switch out. And for this, we just have what? Where's my... Yeah, he has no... could risk crit here and whatever crit bullshit. And +1. 91. I'm still faster if he flame charges. Actually, you know what? Yeah, but Arachnid just... Arachnid is fucking crazy, by the way. And this we have, like, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Hex, Shadow Sneak. Wait, oh. Okay, I have to remember to fucking frostbite, please. One time, man. Please remember. Hex Orb. Okay, what do I need frostbite on? I need it on this. Hex Will-O-Wisp. What is fighting that? Oh, my Earth Ring is fighting it anyways. Intimidate. No, I'm good. That's it. Impish. Bold, Adamant. We bird break here, one shot. If he switches into the bird, it doesn't matter. Okay, the bird is out. The bird is out. What did I have for this? Mudbray? Wait, what did I... Oh, I had Slowbro. Okay, yeah, you get your power-up bullshit. Oh yeah, can't use Yawn. I have to delete Yawn. I never used it. I'm pretty sure I never used it. I hope not. I hope not. And then I just fight him with Earth Ring. Dark Pulse. I could have baited a fucking, I could have baited a, what is it called, man? Oh, Defense Drop. Could have baited a Shadow move. Does nothing. God, I gotta not click the fucking... Oh, fuck, I forgot to calculate that. Oh, no. Hold on, what does he do now? He goes acro again? Hold on. Yeah, he could kill me here. Hold on, let me put this... Hold on. Acro with no item. I forgot to calc that, man. 38. Yeah, he kills me. Jesus. So I just switch. Yeah, I just switch Mudstill. I don't have Mudstill, apparently. I just switch Muck. Poison Fang. Man, Acro does a lot. Wait, what about Scrafty? Does he one-shot Scrafty to get the Intimidate? No, he doesn't. Intimidate and crit. Yeah, he one-shots with... What do I do? Do I just have to risk the one-shot? I'd rather lose Scrafty. Prevent stat loss! Oh my god, I didn't know Scrappy did that. What? Whoa, that's a crazy ability. Immune to Intimidate. Wow, I did not know that, to be honest. What do I do? I just muck. Hopefully he like jump kicks or something. Yeah, it should be 50%. $93, $58, yeah. I have to risk crit obviously, but... Oh my god. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. He obviously can't, he could one-shot the muck. 93? Where am I? 93. He doesn't even kill with crit. Okay. We just... What, knock? Or... I just have Arachnid for this. I just party shot. Boom, liquidation. There you go. Oh my god, I did not think about this thing. Dude, I am so dumb. Okay, we leech life, it's fine. I mean, he has Confuse Ray, we are slower. Fuck. 33. Die Shock. Okay, God, Jesus Christ. Why am I so bad? I am so bad, man. Let me frostbite my shit now so I remember. Who's next again? It is the Glamet. Let me quickly see if anything has changed. Inch bar, slow ball, energy ball, degleam. Maybe that's changed. Degleam. That's the same. Yeah, everything looks pretty similar. Against Sneasel, I just still have Annihilate to check it. Or to hard counter it, rather. And I would just use... I mean, I don't even need to frostbite this. And against, let's see, Gourmet. Plenty of options. You just Scald. So the new AI will actually see that he will 1v1 me in great favor. I am faster to be able to Volt Switch on that. And it's basically the only thing that would really switch in on me. So, do I have a one-shot for this? So he Mega Drains me. Oh, no, sorry, he's going to Poison Powder. He's going to Poison Powder. Yeah, so I can just come in on my Grass type, right? So we start off... Who are we starting off? Oh yeah. I have the Annihilate for the fucking Sneasler. What do I have for this thing? This Annihilate again? Toxic. Oh, I have Breloom. I'll just Breloom on him, on his Toxic. Should be fine. So, do I want a different answer for this? I mean, it doesn't really matter. First impression, U-turn. Yeah, first impression U-turn maybe? Yeah, okay, this fight is easy. Alright. Big Hex Horde, please. Poison. Should be good. No, no! See, I keep doing this. Okay. Go in. Scald? Okay, he switches to the fucking Bayleaf. Okay. I don't care, dude. First impression, boom. We're U-turning, you're dead. You actual loser. What do I want to bait? I mean, Ursaring doesn't care. Ursaring doesn't give a fuck. It 1v1s anything. Perfect. Right, baiting the fighting type, that's perfect. We bulldoze. I am not frostbitten! Oh yeah, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Wait, where's my bulldoze shadow punch? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, he's fucked. U-turn. Oh, I did not think about that. Hammer arm, you're dead, bro. There you go. Easy. Easy, easy. Okay, now we can hatch an egg. And wait, we get, wait. Wait, where's the... Oh, this guy, okay. And we get hidden power, okay. We save. Okay. Was there anything else at this? Move Pokemon. Everything about this new update is fucking insane, by the way. Including the AI. The AI is so good. I will say, I always am saying, like, dude, the AI is always like outplaying me and shit. And it's like super good. The only complaint I have is the PC. Like, that's the only problem I have. And it's not even a big problem. It's a tiny problem. Okay, we'll go with grass. Okay, what do we get? I mean, is Piplup good? Is Piplup good? We do get 2 megas, right? I've never used these things before. It's crazy Spadef. It's crazy Spadef. That's actually really good, to be honest. I mean, I heard people saying it wasn't, though. Plus Spadef. Alright, Empoleon. Oh, he got Surf and Flash Cannon. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I guess Aqua Jet? Oh no, Baby Doll Ass? Baby Doll Ass? Okay. Okay, so that was our... what is this place called again? Verdant Turf? Verdant Turf. Verdant Turf. Piplup? Wait, was that Piplup? It was, right? Yeah. Okay. Who am I fighting now? Like the snow route? Or do I need Shadow Ball and stuff like that? Do I need Shadow Ball? You have the Hex Sword, right? Unless it's a one with... Okay, I'm fighting the first trainer of the snow route. And wait, I have to put this, I did put this down. Apom, Q-Fent. Route 118. Meteor Falls. Who's the first trainer of the snow route? Snow Battle. Slow King. Slow King. I mean, Black Glass is a little in muck. Oh no, I just get slept, right? Oh no, yawned, it doesn't matter. And I like to take off any of the items of these people. Including, I mean, well, not including Slow King, but... No, I don't need black glasses, actually. But, it disincentivizes him from switching more so. Does disincentivize switching. Yeah, I just do a ton of damage with this. What can tank this thing? Oh, he has Refrigerate, right. Invade an Earth Power. And I'm faster. Yeah, if I bait Earth Power, I mean... Okay, so I want... Muck, knock off. Then he comes in on... I mean, he can't come in on that. He just can't really switch in on anything. I mean, he could see... No, because he would get killed. No, he can't switch in on anything. Am I faster than this? 62, yeah, I am. I could just sleep the Muck. Or, you know what? I don't want to sleep the Muck. I'll chesto the Muck. I will chesto the Muck. Because I don't want to get slept. What else do I need? Empoleon. Alright, we chesto the Muck. And she still doesn't like switching in on anything, basically. So this thing's basically dead. I mean, then... Do I have a hard counter for this? Brick Break, U-turn. I'm faster. This thing is so strong, by the way. Okay, Brick Break, U-turn the fucking Dugong. Do I have to worry about anything? I don't care about freeze. Oh, lefties. That doesn't matter. I just might not be able to U-turn. Intimidate, low sweep. Not faster at all. But Alvinard. Get whatever Scraggy. That's Crafty, sorry, Jesus Christ. Alright, I mean, it should be free from here. I'll bring the Bisharp as well, because I don't really care. Draining Kiss, okay. Okay. Yeah, he stays in. He actually swapped. What does he do? Earth power here? What does he do? No, he hyper voices, right? I'm not faster though. 98. 61%. I died a crit. Okay, I can hard swap this, but the issue is he won't switch, right? Like, he just won't switch. Surely he just won't switch, right? Okay, Earth Power, that's really good. Okay, he didn't switch. Okay. That's good. I feel like I just hammer on this, like I don't need to switch. Annihilate. Is we just U-turn? 112. Dude, he does so much damage, bro. He's gonna knock or fake out. Okay, I have no item. Okay. Let's fucking go. Please. The next fight is Lunatone. We just knock off again? Dude, knockoff is so strong. Knockoff is so fucking strong. Am I fat? I'm not faster, obviously. Imagine if Ice Cube comes and we just knock off. I mean, it doesn't really matter. What's coming in on me, though? He just can't even... Oh, he can swap Arctizold and lose his Life Orb. Which... You know, then I have... Let's see... Do I have this thing? Flame Wheel? It doesn't do any damage. What would Intimidate? Low Sweep. Do I have anything faster? Oh, Annihilate becomes faster after Low Sweep. But then I'm still getting hit by a full Bolt Beak. Yeah. Why is this competitive? Sorry. What am I doing? No, my brain is not working properly. I just don't see why we wouldn't knock off again. Wait, I can't even sleep if I'm status, right? What if I just Ursaring Crunch? Or just, like, I guess... No, I like to knock off more. I feel like I can just take the same team, basically. Like, this team is so fucking strong for Snow. Bisharp. No, not Bisharp. Ursaring Frostburn. Okay, but what do I have for the Ice Cube? Hold on. I need a special attacker. I mean, Scrafty is pretty good. What if he's +5, +6 with Intimidate? I still die to Icicle Crash. Yeah, no, this doesn't work at all. So wait, no, if I switch in... No, it doesn't work. Because Aurora Veil could be up. I need Brick Break for the Ninetales. If he switches Ninetales, I switch. I have to Brick Break. Right? Brick Break U-turn? No, he's faster. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Hey Google. What moves in Pokemon remove screens? Brick Break Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs. Screen Cleaner. Psychic Fangs. I do have a Bolton that I didn't put on the calc yet. But ultimately... Okay, so hold on. What do I have for the Ice Cube? I don't have any special attackers, that's the thing. I don't have many special attackers. This is not good. Oh, while I remember, let me get rid of the yawn. Wait, I can't encore, right? I cannot encore, right? Where's the rules, man? Let me get the rules up. Where are the rules, man? Oh my god, where are the fucking rules? No, it's not this. There it is. Okay. We got the rules. Okay. Was this it? Oh my god, I had it right here. Fuck. Encore! Encore is not banned, apparently. Wait. What if I get my encounter? Hold on. Where is it? 109. I'll get my 109 encounter. Okay, come on, Clodsire, please. Please. Okay. He gets unaware, right? Move Pokemon. Also, let me level these. So 109, Wooper regular. Boom. We will level these to max. Okay. Nature change. This is Spatak. Is that Spatak? Wooper is defense, I think. Whoop. Plus defense minus Spatak. Black Oath. We got Flamethrower. See, this thing could just beat the that stupid Mon. Pulse. What is this ability again? Encore. We have Encore. Chip away. Covet. Flail. Yawn, Smog. Power Gem. We have Willow. Is Willow allowed? I guess it is. I think it is. So I guess this thing is supposed to bait water moves and bait rock moves and ground moves or something. Wait! Mystical fire is allowed. Endure, counter, focus punch. Earth power. EQ. Oh no, I forgot to learn them. I forgot to learn the moves as Quag, whatever. Okay. Slaking? Body slam?
Automatically creating and sending invoices. Odoo also lets you save time with online payments and close deals faster with e-signatures on quotes, contracts, and more. Inventory tracking just got a whole lot easier, and you can reorder with just one click. You can even automate restocking entirely. I wish that I could restock on grappa berries. I am always running out. That's for all my Eevee trainers. Anyway, if all this sounds overwhelming to you, don't sweat it. Odoo might be comprehensive, but it's also extremely user-friendly. It's super easy to learn your way around. Thanks again to Odoo for sponsoring today's video. Make sure to click the link in the description to find out if Odoo can help your business soar to new heights. Just like our next flying type, coming in at number 8 is Gyarados. I actually initially had Gyarados a little bit lower on this list because, like, okay, it's kind of tricky. This is what makes this list so hard. Gyarados obviously is a great Pokemon, and it's been used in more formats than either Togekiss or Celesteela, right? But the thing is that both Togekiss and Celesteela have had higher peaks. Like at some point during certain formats, they were like either the most used Pokemon or like top 3, top 5, like very close to it. Gyarados, in my memory, has effectively never reached that level. Like there might have been some short moment where it got close to that, but not for the like duration that either Togekiss or Celesteela had. So emotionally, it feels like, oh, Celesteela and Togekiss are better, but Gyarados has more longevity. And so it's part of what made this list so difficult is that how do you weigh longevity versus peaks, right? Anyway, I think Gyarados is actually a really cool Pokemon to talk about, not just because it looks sick, and I mean, it's iconic. It's like one of the most Pokemon, right? But I think what really makes it cool is that similar to Celesteela, it has a ton of different sets, and which one was best really depended on the Pokemon around it. Even though Gyarados looks like this really crazy, you know, water dragon thing, right? It actually is most often used for defense. It has the Intimidate ability, which is just one of the best abilities in the game because it lowers both of your opponent's physical attack stats every time the user switches in. So you can use it multiple times per battle. It's a total staple of competitive play. Many of you have probably seen it before. Anyway, because of the Intimidate ability and because its water and flying typing is actually pretty decent defensively, like of course you have a quadruple weakness to electric and you're weak to rock, but most rock moves are physical, and so you like at least are weakening their damage a little bit with Intimidate. And if the opponent doesn't have an electric type, then Gyarados Gyarados doesn't have that much to worry about. Plus you have some nice resistances and some nice immunities. Anyway, it actually ends up letting the Gyarados be quite a bulky Pokemon. It often supports its team with moves like Thunder Wave and Taunt, occasionally Icy Wind, and typically uses Waterfall for damage. Slight tangent. Before this video started, I talked about how I didn't think of Flying as a very good type, and I think Gyarados kind of illustrates why I feel that way. Flying is a really good type offensively, but there aren't that many good physical flying type moves or good special flying type moves. On the physical side, Gyarados doesn't get anything outside of Bounce, which is basically a worthless move aside from specific circumstances, but just the move on its own is effectively worthless. It's a 2-turn move. If the opponent protects in the second turn, you do no damage, and it's not even perfectly accurate or all that strong. Unless you have access to certain very specific moves, which we'll talk about, it's really hard to have good flying type coverage. Togekiss gets around this a little bit because Air Slash has such a high flinch chance that it's actually worth it, even though it's a very weak move. Like if you compare Air Slash to like Thunderbolt or Flamethrower, you'll see that there's a huge gap in power. And the next strongest flying type move is Hurricane, which is super strong, but misses a whopping 30% of the time, unless you're in the rain. So for most flying type Pokemon, you don't really want to risk it. Celesteela's main attack was actually using Heavy Slam. Like it wouldn't really use a flying type move. Occasionally it would use Air Slash if it wanted special damage on the flying side. So it at least had the option, but this kind of worked mostly because Celesteela was again a support Pokemon. So you weren't really relying on it for burst damage. I think this is also part of the reason why Gyarados is pressured to lean into more of a defensive role a lot of the time, is because unless you have certain conditions going for you, you're only going to be able to use water moves for your like type attacks, same type attacks. So Gyarados that wanted to set up would have to run Earthquake as a secondary move. That being said, we have seen some setup Gyarados. Dragon Dance, Protect, Waterfall, Earthquake was used, especially during early Sun and Moon. I remember that was a pretty good set. But I think a big part of the reason why Gyarados has been used so much is because it takes such good advantage of the signature mechanics of the last couple generations. I'm talking about Z moves, Dynamax, and Terrestrialization, all of which let a Pokemon use moves that they normally wouldn't be able to. Z moves and Dynamax allowed Gyarados to use a 1-turn flying type attack, and this is actually really good because, you know, one of the main Pokemon that resist water type moves are grass type Pokemon, right? And so having actual flying type coverage to beat these Pokemon was a pretty big deal. Max Airstream, as we mentioned, was also one of the best Dynamax moves, and so Gyarados was also phenomenal in the early time of Sword and Shield, in part because it matched up really well into Excadrill. Most recently, we saw the support Gyarados set come back during the middle of Scarlet and Violet, during Regulation C, where it was often paired with Pokemon like King-Lu and Shiyu and Fluttermane, basically helping to enable these other Pokemon, whether by making them bulkier or by slowing down opponents with Thunder Wave. Now, Gyarados has won the World Championships once in 2014 alongside Pachirisu. However, it's one of the weird cases where it's Mega Gyarados. And so Mega Gyarados, as you might know, is a water and dark type Pokemon. It's not a flying type Pokemon. That being said, it felt more right to put it here because it felt weird to put just Gyarados on this list, like here, and then have Mega Gyarados on like, yeah, the dark type list, but not the flying type list. I understand people might not agree with that. That's my personal decision, is that I'm including it here. Gyarados might still be on the list without the Mega Gyarados World win. It probably would lose to Zapdos though. But yeah, basically the Mega Gyarados that won Worlds was used as an offensive Pokemon using, funnily enough, Follow Me from Pachirisu plus Dragon Dance, and then allowing Mega Gyarados to be super bulky. I think part of the reason, by the way, that it makes sense to include it here is because Mega Gyarados would use base Gyarados like in gameplay, whether to, you know, have a different resistance profile, like you go from resisting fighting to being weak to it. So in certain situations, for example, against Mega Lucario, maybe you wanted to delay your Mega Evolution so that you wouldn't be, you know, weak to its fighting moves all of a sudden. And you would also, of course, use the Intimidate ability before you switched in. So that's my opinion. If you don't agree, it's fine. I understand. Anyway, Gyarados, even though it's been, you know, power crept and, you know, it's from Generation 1, still a good Pokemon, and I expect we'll be seeing more of it going forward, especially because it's a Pokemon that tends to be in the early parts of formats, because it tends to be, you know, in almost every Pokemon game, similar to Pikachu. So I think that Gyarados will probably continue to pop up, and I'm sure there will be a time in the future where it's really good again. Okay, coming in at number 7 is a Pokemon that I personally think has already hit its peak. Talonflame. Funnily enough, Talonflame also won the World Championships, and also in 2014, that team had 2 flying type Pokemon. Those of you starting in Scarlet and Violet probably think you know what's up with Talonflame. Honestly, if you started in Sword and Shield or even Sun and Moon, you probably think you have a good idea of what Talonflame does. The main reason to use Talonflame is because it has the special ability called Gale Wings, which effectively gives all of its flying type moves an increased stage of priority, but only when it's at full HP. This ability basically causes Talonflame to be played in the modern era like this somewhat frail but like really fast supporting Pokemon, where it uses the move Tailwind, which is super great at supporting your team, doubling your speeds for the next 4 turns. It uses moves like Will-O-Wisp and Taunt to slow down opponents and disrupt them, and occasionally it'll do a little damage with Brave Bird. It's kind of a fun fact that Talonflame has a lower base attack stat than Amoonguss, a Pokemon that doesn't use its base attack stat, so that's part of the reason why Talonflame has been relegated to this more supportive role. If the only time that we used Talonflame was, you know, 2017 and after, I wouldn't even have considered it for this list. However, What you need to understand about Talonflame is that it has been nerfed into the ground. Its ability Gale Wings, when it first released in Generation 6 during X and Y, did not have any additional condition attached to it. Rather than only working at full HP, it worked always. And you might be thinking, okay, like how much does that matter, Wolf? Like, okay, it's priority and priority is good, but like, I mean, it still has a little priority nowadays, right? Like it can't make that much of a difference, right? Wrong. So here's what you have to understand. Yes, Talonflame, it's not a very powerful Pokemon. Talonflame was one of the most threatening offensive Pokemon during the first year of X and Y, and frankly for a lot of X and Y thereafter. The reason is because it has arguably the best physical flying type move, Brave Bird. Brave Bird is a really strong move with 120 base power that does recoil damage to the user after it hits something. What you have to understand is that priority moves, just by definition, are extremely powerful. A lot of competitive play is like figuring out how to attack before your opponents, and priority is one of the best ways to do that. Game Freak understands this, and so almost all priority moves cap out at 40 base power. Occasionally we'll have like signature moves that are 60 base power, and sometimes we get slightly stronger moves that are like 55 or like 70 base power, assuming they have special conditions attached to them. That's like Sucker Punch, Thunderclap, Grassy Glide, right? Where they can have priority, but they also don't always. Brave Bird was a 120 base power priority flying type attack. Again, one of the best offensive types in the game. And even though Talonflame isn't very strong, players just gave it a choice band and trained it to be really offensive, and it would basically one or two shot everything in the game, sometimes even if it resisted it, unless they were very bulky. And because of that priority, there was kind of no easy way around it. Like this is before Psychic Terrain. I don't actually remember if it existed before. I think it might have existed, but like there was no abilities that set it up, and there was no like Queenly Majesty or Armor Tail abilities that stopped priority or Dazzling, right? There was really no priority block in the game. There was no way to turn it off. And so you would have this Pokemon that could come in at the end of the game and just clean up all of your Pokemon while you couldn't even do anything about it, or could be used in the early game to put down tons of damage while you scrambled trying to like slow it down. It was just a menace. Fire was also really good secondary typing for Talonflame because the steel types that resisted its flying type moves would get blown up by its fire moves. Many players used Life Orb or Sharp Beak instead of Choice Band as well, because it would allow you to also support your team with Tailwind rather than being locked into using Brave Bird. Talonflame is a Pokemon that I'm really glad has kind of fallen off. It's definitely past its peak, and I think that's actually for the best because it's really hard to understand if you weren't there playing at the time, but it was just terrifying. And I'm actually quite glad that they nerfed it, and I'm glad it's still like, it was nerfed enough that it's like no longer just like a menace like it was, but it still is usable and has some play and like won a regional. I mean, as recently as 2023, I'm sure it might have even won one in 2024, though maybe not. So it's still usable, and like I think it's now working as intended. And that's for the best. Okay, coming in at number 6 is a bit of a surprising pick. Number 6 will shock you, okay? I'm BuzzFeed now. The number 6 best flying type is Charizard. This is probably a bit surprising because on my best fire type list, I put Charizard in the top 3. And actually, that was the first one of these that I made, and I basically put it as a 3-way tie. I wasn't sure which Pokemon was the best at the time. I would change that now if I went back, but video's already out, so whatever. Anyway, Charizard is number 6 in this list. Charizard's the second Pokemon to have never won the World Championships. Charizard's also really hard to talk about because like it has 4 different forms that all saw play. So the simplest version to talk about is Charizard's base form. Fire and flying type, decent stats, not phenomenal. Typing is like good, but like not it has ups and downs, right? You have these terrible weaknesses like to water and a quadruple weakness to rock and weak to electric, but you actually have decent defensive typing as well outside of those types. Like you resist grass, you resist fighting, you're immune to ground, you resist fire. Yeah. Anyway, the real reason to use base form Charizard is his ability Solar Power. Solar Power basically works as a multiplier if the sun is up, and because the sun already gives fire type moves a multiplier, and being a fire type gives you another multiplier, it's basically exponential scaling and allows Charizard to do a lot more damage than you would expect given like its base stats. Base form Charizard previously had never seen really any play. However, it did recently this season actually win an international level tournament during Regulation H where all legendary and paradox Pokemon were banned. This Charizard used the choice specs to get an additional 1.5 times multiplier on all of its moves, basically resulting in exponential scaling where if Charizard was set up and had the speed advantage and had the sun up, it was just going to output huge damage. As a fire type, it has access to the spread move Heat Wave, which hits both of your opponents, gets powered up in the sun and by all the other multipliers as well, and so it was a really powerful offensive Pokemon. That being said, it basically hasn't seen any play outside of this season. Mega Charizard X is the most simple to talk about. This is a fire and dragon type, so again, not really a flying type. It saw a little usage. I won a regional with it. I brought it to the World Championships and finished. Did I bring it to the Worlds twice? Actually, I think I did. One of those years went okay, the other one not so much. It also won another regional used by a creative team builder named Jamie Boyd over in the European region. That being said, this was definitely a more niche pick and mostly played Charizard like as this kind of like bulky physical attacker. I used mine with Will-O-Wisp and Roost. It could also use Dragon Dance. The thing is that turning your special attacker into a physical attacker caused a bunch of problems, and like Mega Charizard Y, which was the better form, was able to hit both opponents and control the weather. Typically it was viewed as better. Anyway, Mega Charizard Y, which I just alluded to, has access to the Drought ability, which sets the sun up. Now, you can't set the sun up and then get access to your base form solar power ability. Most of you probably know that once you mega evolve, you don't get to go back to your base form until the next battle. I actually wonder what would happen if you used Revival Blessing with a Mega Evolution. Would you keep your Mega? I assume you'd go back to normal. I don't know though. Anyway, it didn't matter because there was no Revival Blessing attack when Mega Evolutions were around. So you would Mega Evolve, you'd set up the sun, but you would also get a ton of stat points just by virtue of Mega Evolving. And so it actually allowed Charizard Y to keep up with the more modern format, right? A lot of Pokemon that set up the sun are designed to like have some kind of pretty major weaknesses. Like Torkoal has terrible stats, Ninetales, terrible stats. Groudon and Koraidon are like obviously restricted legendary Pokemon, so they're not even legal most of the time, but also neither of them are fire type Pokemon. And so even though they have good stats, they aren't able to fully take advantage of the sun because they're not getting, and they're basically missing out on a multiplier. Charizard Y was the one exception where it not only had phenomenal offensive stats and just good stats across the board, but it was also a fire type who set the sun up. And so basically like Charizard Y Overheat would KO anything that didn't resist it. Heat Wave would output huge damage, and it even could use moves like Air Slash and Solar Beam for decent like utility as well. It mostly worked as a fire type attacker because like again, flying type special moves weren't really a thing. Like you'd use Air Slash, but compare Air Slash to Overheat in the sun, and yeah, I mean you can see that there's a pretty major difference there. So it primarily was used as a fire type attacker, but it's still nice to have a fire type that's immune to ground. By far the most threatening version of Charizard though was Gigantamax Charizard. Gigantamax Charizard was the single best Gigantamax form in the game. I'm going to say it was the best Dynamax Pokemon period, both Dynamax or Gigantamax. I've talked about this a couple times before, so I won't, like go as in depth here. But basically what you need to understand is that all the multiplicative scaling that we were talking about with base form Charizard also worked with Dynamax as an additional multiplier. And Charizard's main weakness is that it's very frail. And so if you can outspeed it, you can probably either KO it or do a ton of damage to it. And you can also use priority moves once it's taken enough damage because solar power damages your Pokemon at the end of every turn. That's the trade-off. With Gigantamax, Charizard not only got a huge power boost, but it also became much tankier and took less recoil damage because of the weird quirk of how recoil damage worked in Dynamax Pokemon. Basically, if you were Dynamaxed, then your Pokemon would take half the recoil that it should. So Life Orb was just to do 10% of your health every turn. Gigantamax Charizard only took 5%. The real thing that made Gigantamax Charizard so crazy though was the fact that its secondary effect of its signature Gigantamax move, Gmax Wildfire, just did a ton of passive damage. It would basically wipe out a third of your opponent's total health unless they like Dynamax themselves or they had a fire type on the field. And that was just the passive effect for landing the move once. Way overtuned. It should have done significantly less damage across the board, and the fact that the secondary effect was so good, it just made it like a huge menace to deal with. Like it was so strong that Gigantamax Charizard to me kind of represented what happened when Dynamax was pushed to its limit and kind of like broke the game. For the most part, I think it was a really good mechanic, but then I think about Gigantamax Charizard and I'm like, you know what, it actually did have some problems, didn't it? So the real question then is, why is Charizard not higher up on the list? And the short answer to that is that every Pokemon above it has won the World Championships at least once. And while I think Charizard is better than some Pokemon who have won the World Championships, I think the Pokemon above it all displayed a level of dominance that you can't really match without a world win. Speaking of, let's talk about the 5th Pokemon on our list, which I believe might be the only, let me look this up. I think this is the only mono flying type on our list. Yeah, this is the only pure flying type on our list. Tornadus. I think it's pronounced Tornadus, but I think it's Tornadus. Anyway, Tornadus won the World Championships only once back in 2013. That being said, it has a 2nd place and 2 third places at the World Championships as well, so surely not a bad Pokemon. Tornadus is either the best Tailwind setter of all time or the 2nd best Tailwind setter of all time, thanks to its ability, Prankster. Prankster is basically similar to Gale Wings in that it gives all of your moves priority, but instead of being all flying type moves, it's all moves that don't do damage. So Tornadus is a really great support Pokemon because it can set Tailwind up with priority. Tornadus is also a legendary Pokemon, so if you compare its stats to Talonflame stats, you'll see that there's a pretty big difference. Tornadus is primarily used as a fast supporting Pokemon, similar to Talonflame, but with a bit more bulk and with the ability to do a bit more damage. It's more consistent than Talonflame as well, because unlike Gale Wings, Prankster just always works regardless of your health. So it's easier to set up a 2nd Tailwind if your first one expires if you preserve your Tornadus. Tornadus also uses Prankster for other reasons. It often uses support moves like Taunt and Rain Dance. It's actually often paired with powerful water type attackers. The one that comes to mind most recently is obviously Urshifu, where you can use Rain Dance before Urshifu attacks and then Surging Strikes to do huge damage. Back in the day, it was primarily used with Kyogre. This synergy also goes both ways, where while using Rain Dance can help you to control the weather and make sure that your water type Pokemon isn't getting shut down by sun, the rain also makes Tornadus's flying type moves 100% accurate. Back in the day, you would mostly use Hurricane. Again, we've talked about how strong this move is. However, for some reason, they gave Tornadus a buff in Legends Arceus called Bleak Wind Storm, which is just a great flying type move that's really high base power, hits both of your opponents, and has a decent chance to lower their speed stats. The main drawback of this move is that it's inaccurate, but again, it's fully accurate in the rain, so you can get around this by pairing it with other rain-setting Pokemon or by using Rain Dance yourself. Something funny that you might not know is that the Tornadus that won the World Championships actually didn't use the Prankster ability. Tornadus gets the hidden ability Defiant, which gives it an attack boost if any of its stats are lowered. This was the year where a specific Intimidate Pokemon was really running away with the game, and being able to get an attack boost every time the Intimidate lowered your attack stat was actually quite valuable. This Tornadus set really hasn't seen any play going forward, and that's in large part because what really enabled it to shine was not necessarily the attack boost, it was the fact that there was this item called, well, there were these items called gems. Gems were basically a choice item that gave your Pokemon a 50% power boost, but they didn't lock you into the move you used, and you could only use them once per battle. So basically you would use, Draco Meteor, the Dragon Gem would activate, give you a 50% power boost, you'd, hit Straw harder, and then afterwards the gem would disappear until the next battle. Flying Gem was a really strong and popular gem because it paired really well with the attack Acrobatics. Acrobatics is a 55 base power move, quite weak, doubles in power if you don't have an item, and the game checks to see if you have an item after the gem is already activated. So basically if you use Acrobatics, you would first activate your gem, applying a 50% power boost, and then Acrobatics will check to see if you have an item, which you no longer do, so it would double your power. Effectively, this is a 3 times boost for your move rather than a 2 times boost, or a 1.5 times boost. And given that you couldn't intimidate Tornadus without it getting stronger, this was quite powerful. That being said, without the Flying Gem, the set is nowhere near as good. And also, they changed the way that speed works in the game, where nowadays speed updates automatically. So if you use Tailwind, then your partner Pokemon is immediately just twice as fast. Back in the day, up until Generation 8, when this changed, speed was static. And so what that means effectively is that if you use Tailwind and then your partner Pokemon now would be faster, but at the start of the turn was slower, it's still slower. Like you don't update the speed until the next turn. And so because of that, Prankster also has a lot more utility with Tailwind, because using Tailwind with priority means that your partner Pokemon immediately gets the benefit, whereas otherwise your opponent might be able to attack first. Anyway, I think that Tornadus is going to continue being a staple. Like I said, as a top 2 Tailwind setter, it's probably top 1. The other contender is Whimsicott, for those of you who are curious. And I think the question is really only will Tornadus be in the game, not will Tornadus be good? Okay, coming in at number 4 is another Pokemon that I think people will be surprised to see this low, but I have talked about it before. It's a personal favorite of mine, Mega Rayquaza. Mega Rayquaza only won the World Championships one time back in 2016 when I used it to win. That is a little bit of a misleading statement though, because Mega Rayquaza is something called a restricted Pokemon, which means it's only allowed in specific formats. And because it's a Mega Evolution, wait, I'm calling this Mega Rayquaza. I guess this is Rayquaza in general, but only the Mega Evolution is worth talking about, truthfully. Anyway, it's a restricted Pokemon, but it's also a Mega Evolution, and so there have actually only ever been 2 World Championships where it was legal for. Rayquaza itself has been legal for more, but like I said, not a very good Pokemon without its Mega form. That being said, its Mega form is really good. For those of you who didn't play around with Mega Rayquaza, what you have to understand is that it was different. And I don't just mean it was crazy strong, although it was, but it literally played by different rules than other Pokemon in the game. Every other Mega Evolution in the game, in order to Mega Evolve, had to hold a specific item called a Mega Stone. Kangaskhan had to hold the Kangaskhanite, Metagross had to hold the Metagrossite, Metagrite, I don't remember what it's called. You get the picture, right? Ampharosite was Ampharos, etc. Rayquaza Mega didn't have to hold an item. Instead, it just had to have its signature move, Dragon Ascent, on its moveset. And that meant that it could hold a different item. So not only did this Mega Evolution have better stats than any other Mega Evolution in the game, but you could also give it an additional power boost or some extra survivability with a held item, which other Mega Evolutions weren't able to have. Focus Sash was the item that I used to win Worlds, which basically allowed Mega Rayquaza to set up with Swords Dance memorably, or just to have a little bit more survivability to click Dragon Ascent, which is flying type close combat. One of the best flying type moves of all time. I guess it's probably the best flying type move, period. It's just a signature move. Is there anything better? I'll come back to it. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, but with the Focus Sash, you could survive a little longer. I also won North American Internationals with Mega Rayquaza, holding the Assault Vest item, which gave it a lot more survivability. Other people used Life Orb. I think Choice Band might have been used once or twice, but it wasn't really all that common. Anyway, so you had this super strong Pokemon that you could power up even further. The thing about Mega Rayquaza is that its base stats were just insane. It was decently fast. It was incredibly powerful on both the physical and the special side, and it had great natural bulk. And that great bulk was only made better because of its signature ability, Delta Stream. Delta Stream is crazy. It's a third form of Primordial Weather. Like Primal Groudon sets Desolate Land, Primal Kyogre sets the Primordial Sea. That's what it's called, I think. And Mega Rayquaza has the Delta Stream. This is a special kind of weather condition that doesn't have a powered down version. I guess, airlock, kind of. It basically overwrites all other weather conditions that are on the field, and it causes all flying type Pokemon to lose their weaknesses. The main weakness of Mega Rayquaza's typing is the fact that as a dragon and flying type Pokemon, it is quadruple weak to ice type attacks. However, in Delta Stream, it's only 2 times weak to ice type attacks. And that's a big deal because you still keep the resistances. So Mega Rayquaza still resists fighting, is still immune to ground, but it doesn't have any of the downsides of being a flying type. And you can also use this to pair with other flying type Pokemon. Like when I won North American Internationals, for example, I had both Assaultvest Mega Rayquaza and Celesteela. Celesteela is only weak to fire and electric, but in the Delta Stream, it's only weak to electric. And it actually gets extra resistances as well. Like normally Celesteela takes neutral damage from ice type attacks, but that's because the resistance from its steel typing is canceled out by the weakness from its flying typing. And so, you know, in Delta Stream, all of a sudden Celesteela isn't neutral to ice type attacks, it resists them. Same thing with rock type attacks. This ability is crazy, especially on a Pokemon already very, very tanky. Mega Rayquaza also is one of the few Mega Evolutions that didn't really have any wasted stat points because it was often used as both a physical and a special attacker simultaneously. Basically, all Mega Evolutions get 100 stat points when they Mega Evolve, but often those are wasted by putting extra points into the attacking stat that you're not using. Like Mega Garchomp is a huge example of this, where it gets a ton of special attack points when it wants to be a physical attacker. Those points are effectively wasted. But with Mega Rayquaza, it can use these special moves, not only because it has a high base special attack stat, but because that is a crazy deep move pool. The one that I used to win North American Internationals had both Earth Power and Icy Wind, 2 special moves that you normally wouldn't use on a physical attacker, but were really good on Mega Rayquaza. The main question you're probably wondering is like, why is Mega Rayquaza not higher up on our list? And the main reason is that while it was really good, it was really never a top 3 restricted Pokemon in the time it was around. Sometimes it might have been even lower. Xerneas, Primal Groudon, and Primal Kyogre were almost always better than it. And that might sound a little strange, but basically in double battles, Mega Rayquaza's insane damage output wasn't quite as valuable as like some of the spread moves that Xerneas, Groudon, and Kyogre could provide. And with Xerneas often being the most popular restricted Pokemon, the problem was effectively that you had a Pokemon that not only was just super strong into you because it hit you for super effective damage and could outspeed you after a Geomancy, but also people ran a lot of steel type Pokemon to counter Xerneas, which ended up also threatening Mega Rayquaza, like Bronzong and Stakataka. None of this is to say that Mega Rayquaza was bad, but it was never as dominant as you would expect it to be given how strong it is. In fact, like Mega Rayquaza was never as dominant in Togekiss. This is partly because we're comparing 2 very different formats, but it's the truth. Like Togekiss has a higher peak in terms of popular.
Okay. Wait, it's Beartic? Oh my god, dude, I selected the wrong fight, bro. I selected the wrong fucking fight, dude. That is so fucked. What is muck? Where's my muck? Oh, he's EQing, bro. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, this is not good. It's not good. EQ. So I have to break. Fuck, this is so dumb, man. Risk a max roll. No, I just do this. Bro, oh my god, bro. No flinch, bro. Okay. Jesus. Am I 40%? Wait, did he defense from me? No. What do I do? Mirror coat. He could mirror coat. Yes. Okay, how do I beat this thing now? I can still hard swap into this and kill it in with grass knot. Okay. Well, icicle spear. Can I just hard swap Earth Ring and kill it? No. Without intimidate. He has to icicle spear. Okay, I lowered its speed. And it won't shell smash. Because if unaware, and it just kills me guys. Let's go, man. Fucking steered it, man. Oh. Absolutely fucking steered it. Absolutely steered it. Do I want a parting shot? No, I want to knock. Wait, do I want a parting shot? Hold on. No. Arc dissolved. Ice will have block versus Muck. 92%. Volt Beak only. What if we just mud shot? No! Let's go. I'm out of range. Hey Google, if a Pokemon calculator shows that a move does something 0.5% at the end, like 0.5, not 5%, 0.5. 0.5, yeah. What I'm asking is that if the calculator shows that a move does 1.5%, does that mean that it can get rounded up to 2%? Fuck, man. I think I fucked my run up, bro. Dude, what did it hit me with, bro?
Than Mega Rayquaza does, but it's a bit of a I think it's a bit of a misleading comparison. But yeah, that's why it's not higher up. Phenomenal Pokemon, and if Mega Evolution comes back, I would not be surprised at all. Wait, if Mega Evolution comes back, when Mega Evolution comes back, I would not be surprised at all to see Mega Rayquaza winning another World Championships. For now, though, it's at 4th. Okay, before we get to the top 3, let's talk about our honorable mentions. Let's start with Zapdos. Basically, Zapdos was really good during Black and White, and I think a little bit during Diamond and Pearl as well. Yeah, actually, definitely a little bit during Diamond and Pearl. It got second of the World Championships in both 2008 and 2009, which were played on the, Gen 4 games. And then in Gen 5 in Black and White, it won 3 different nationals in 2012. It's been good at a number of different points. It's often this like bulky electric supporting Pokemon, but can also do damage as well. I don't need to get that much into it. You know what Zapdos does. It was really good. It's the 11th best flying type in my opinion, and I wanted to put it on this list, but I thought based on results I just couldn't because it hasn't been as good in recent years. Okay, I'm going to talk about some other flying types that I think are fun really quickly, and some other ones that people expect. Pelipper, Rain Setter, terrible stats, good Pokemon, one of the better flying types not on this list. Murkrow, not good enough to keep up here, but like a good flying type that sees usage. Yanmega, I like Yanmega, I brought it to a tournament, definitely doesn't deserve to be on this list, but I wanted to talk about it. Galarian Moltres had kind of a brief stint of being good. During Sword and Shield, I used it to win the Players Cup 2. It also had some play during the first part of Regulation G, which was our single restricted format of Scarlet and Violet. It was used as Zamazenta. Regular Moltres also got second at Worlds before, and I think also top 4 at an international tournament in the past. Mandibuzz is this bulky supporting flying type that got second at Worlds in 2017. Yeah, second at Worlds in 2017. Wasn't used much outside of that year, but I think it's a cool Pokemon. Vivian sees some play occasionally, like as a compoundized Sleep Powder user that never misses, that can also set Tailwind and Rage Powder. Butterfree does something similar. Corviknight has used in some lower power formats like the beginning of Sword and Shield and Regulation H during Scarlet and Violet. Flamingo's a funny Pokemon that I think is funny, like not that good. Crobat's a pretty good Pokemon as well. See some play occasionally, especially when Xerneas is popular. Hasn't been used in a little bit, but it's, you know, a good Pokemon to defeat Xerneas. Mega Aerodactyl is actually a flying type Pokemon that saw a little play as kind of a niche option. Articuno won a regional in 2023 with its Choice Specs Blizzard set, making it quite good. I have a whole video on that if you're interested. Dragonite obviously popped up as well during Scarlet and Violet for the first time, so it's like a cool Pokemon worth mentioning. Also have a whole video on that. Jumpluff is used occasionally nowadays as a sun-setting support Pokemon to put players to sleep. Braviary was actually one of the best Pokemon in early Sword and Shield because it was a good Dynamax attacker as a flying type with the Defiant ability, which is good to intimidate. And lastly, Drifblim actually was really good during Sun and Moon as this really fast Tailwind setter that could also burn things with Will-O-Wisp and use the Psychic Seed item to make itself very tanky. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of the Drifblim going forward as it has a really good supporting moveset, but kind of weird stats. Anyway, I know that was kind of rapid fire, but I wanted to talk about some other flying types that I like initially put on my in consideration list and had to take off because yeah, the other Pokemon are just too good. Okay, we're into the top 3 now, and this was the hardest part of the list for me to make personally because all 3 of these Pokemon have a case for number 1. However, I did sort them, okay? I didn't cop out and say they're all number 1, okay? Coming in at number 3 is Thundurus. There are times in the past where I would have put Thundurus at number 1 on this list, but I have thought more about these lists, and I think right now I feel best about number 3. Every single one of these top 3 Pokemon won Worlds 3 times. Thundurus's was in 2011, 2015, and 2022. Thundurus has a ton of other results outside of the World Championships, outside of first place at the World Championships even, but I don't think that just listing, you know, tournaments that it's won is really going to help get the point across any more than telling you what it does. It's one of the most toxic Pokemon of all time. Thundurus, similar to Tornadus, also gets the Prankster ability, giving all of its non-damaging moves a stage of priority. However, instead of the chill and, you know, fair Tailwind attack, it uses moves like Thunder Wave and Swagger. Thunder Wave gives the same speed control flows in the opponent, but also has a whopping 25% chance to stop the target from moving, and paralysis can't easily be cured, so that's just like a 25% every turn for the rest of the battle that your Pokemon won't attack. And Thundurus was often trying to paralyze, well, all of your Pokemon. It would combo this with Swagger, which, you know, would confuse the target, which then lower the odds even further. It's especially messed up because, you know, Thundurus was clearly designed to be an offensive Pokemon with its super high special attack and speed stats, but players realized that just, yeah, Prankster's a crazy powerful ability and Thunderwave is a broken attack, and so it was mostly used for support. That being said, because it does have such a high base special attack stat, when it would attack, it would actually do decent damage as well. I think the best way that I can convey how strong Thundurus was is that it was severely nerfed. One of the most, I think it might be the most nerfed Pokemon of all time. I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's the Pokemon that received the most nerfs. Basically, they changed a lot of things. Paralysis no longer works on electric types, period. They're immune. This gets around the Thundurus paralyzing other Thundurus competition, which often happened. Dark type Pokemon are immune to Prankster now, which didn't used to happen, so you can't paralyze those with Thundurus either. Thunderwave's accuracy was nerfed from 100% to 90%. Paralysis's speed drop was nerfed from a quarter of the target speed to only a half. Swagger's accuracy was nerfed from 90 to 85%. Confusion's chance to activate was nerfed from 50% to 33%. Thunderbolt's base power was lowered, and there's probably some more that I'm forgetting about realistically. Thanks to all these nerfs, Thundurus finally ended up somewhat in check during Sun and Moon. I think even in X and Y, I forget when all these nerfs went into play, but it, like, definitely Thundurus was still good during X and Y, despite the fact that, yeah, like, it could have been nerfed after Black and White, and that would have been good too. Actually, I'm sure it was nerfed at least in part going into X and Y, but regardless, it was still a great Pokemon there, and then there was another round of nerfs. And then ever since then, Thundurus, like, hasn't really been used at all. Like, it's been the least used of all the genies until it won the World Championships in 2022. Funnily enough, this one also used the Defiant ability as the hidden ability and didn't play as this Prankster supporting Pokemon, but instead as this, like, Dynamax attacker. It was paired with Zacian because Zacian couldn't Dynamax, so it needed a good Pokemon to Dynamax. Max Airstream was the best max move in the game, and so it allowed Thundurus to, you know, give Zacian speed boost. Thundurus also gets the superpower attack to give itself and its teammate attack boost with Max Knuckle, very helpful for Zacian. And with the Defiant ability, you put your opponent in a lose-lose situation where if they intimidated Zacian, then they would give Thundurus an attack boost, and if they didn't give Thundurus the attack boost, then that meant that Zacian was still, like, at full power. So it was a really, really powerful Dynamax attacker, and, like, it took advantage of the fact that because Dynamax doubled HP, Thundurus was actually able to be quite tanky, similar to Charizard, where it wouldn't be that tanky as a physical attacker outside of Dynamax, but inside of it, it was bulky enough to actually, like, get max turns out of Dynamax most of the time and do big damage. Also helped that it outsped Charizard and could hit it with a super effective Max Lightning. It was a pretty big deal because Charizard was so good at the time. Currently, Thundurus is by far, like I said, the worst performing of the genies, and, like, both sets aren't really viable right now, but I think I've learned better than to count it out. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of it going forward. Okay, coming in at number 2 is a Pokemon that initially I had at number 1, but ultimately decided to change. Salamence. Salamence won the World Championships in 2009, 2018, and 2019. Salamence is mostly here because of its performance as Mega Salamence. But that being said, regular Salamence won the World Championships in 2009, which was close to the birth of...
So, Ethan, in his fucking, what's the word for it? I'm trying to think. Crusade against these people is going absolutely apeshit about this. So he's been suing them, and here we go. It's a crusade.
So let's just go ahead and start with Frogie. Of course, I've got my PP. Now it's the same PP, but I'm going to do it differently and do it kind of special for you guys. So
Frogan
this
gives
is a very
up.
special PP because it's live. So let's talk about this. Frogan is literally about to default early next week. What has she done with the 50K she raised? We have not heard from her or her attorney at all.
What a flop.
She has like 5 days to respond to our complaint or she loses by default.
She
And this was
loses.
last night.
Wow.
And this was last night. So it's probably down to 4 days. It's probably down to 4 days. So this came, so after this came from Ethan. So this is from Ethan, right? This was the Snarkers. And this is one of the most legally inaccurate takes. That's one of the most legally
Wow, what a surprise. A Redditor doesn't know what they're talking about. Can you believe that?
inaccurate takes ever. Okay. This
No
is from the
way.
Snarkers. Can't wait to see the case
Ethan with Scorched Earth? It's going to get worse.
dismissed after Fro. What is she like? First of all, who calls her Fro? Like when I hear them call her Fro, it sounds like she's Froyo. Okay, like I can't
That ice
not
cream
think
shit?
that she's frozen yogurt.
Oh.
So let's get into this. After Fro files a motion to quash after being improperly served, this dude is such.
I never, ever eat that. Like there was some like rich white people area that my ex-girlfriend wanted me to go to, and she wanted me to buy her one of them. I refused to even eat a single bite. I would not eat it. I already have ice cream. I don't need another one. I will not.
an idiot. He has all of his money and
no
doesn't know what to
Dude,
do with it. So
eats
therefore,
ice
his
cream like a normal
lack
person.
of a lawyer
Tastes it gay?
is just taking it from him.
I knew it.
LMAO. This is really funny. Okay, well, first of all,
This dude is such an idiot. He has all the money and doesn't know what to do with it. Therefore, his quack of a lawyer. Oh God.
let's correct the record.
All
All lawyers are greedy, money-sucking.
That's right.
Soulless.
Whenever I heard this is why I wanted to go to law school.
Quacks. No, they're all
Yeah.
crazy in a special way. All lawyers are crazy in a special way. But beyond that,
Yeah, as soon
this
as I
is
realized that,
procedurally inaccurate
yeah.
and completely wrong. And I'm going to explain how this is just completely wrong.
you're a
So-
quack. No, the reason actually was because I played Magic the Gathering, and my friend Jason knew all the rules so well that he could manipulate the rules to make himself win in disputes where he shouldn't have won. But I couldn't argue against it because I didn't know the rules as well as him. And so I thought that if I could learn the legal code, I could manipulate people in the world in a way that he could manipulate Magic the Gathering, and it would give me an advantage over everybody else. That was the real reason. So it's kind of close. Because if you know the rules to life, then you can use them and abuse them.
First of all, let's explain what a default judgment is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Default judgment is a court ruling in favor of the plaintiff, typically because the defendant does not file a defense
right.
or the defendant doesn't acknowledge
They don't
the
even know
claim.
what
So,
happened.
You know, if you just want to stick your head in the sand and pretend you don't know what's going on, you're likely going to get a default judgment. Now,
So it's not like it's even going to get thrown out. The only person that's going to get thrown out is Frogan.
there are certain circumstances in which not receiving service is a real thing.
Yeah.
However,
That's why they have to
in
serve
this
you
case,
papers.
Ethan Klein has multiple methods. He can, obviously have what we call hand deliveries when you're hand
Yep.
serviced, but there's also service by publication. So you can publish it in a newspaper of general circulation.
That's right.
And that can generally get back and serve as service. And beyond
Well,
that,
she
we
acknowledged it. She should have never acknowledged it.
all know that Frogan knows about this lawsuit.
Of course.
Like it's not something that Frogan doesn't know about. It's very public. So it's very clear what's going on here to a judge. That Frogan is trying to dodge.
She already
this.
started
Frogan
to
is
find
trying
me.
to
Yeah,
evade
it's
this,
over.
right? And
She
Ethan
knows.
Klein,
She knows that. Everybody knows that.
this default judgment, this court ruling in favor of the plaintiff, he would win without Frogan ever having a chance to assert defense. So Frogan, even if she gets this default judgment, so even if the court ends up ultimately siding with Ethan Klein and saying, hey, default judgment. And remember, with a default judgment, that isn't a win for Klein. He gets what he wants. So he'll get damages, whatever else
it's
he
like
wants.
If your team quits the game in the middle of a match, you still win the match, but it's like you
video,
don't
whatever
win.
he wants, he's going to get that by default. It's just, hey, well, this person is not fighting back, so okay. And then he can proceed, if she doesn't do anything, he can proceed to collecting on that judgment at a certain point. However, Frogi Yogi does have a potential opportunity to challenge the default judgment.
Of
and
course.
she does that with an objection to the default judgment, which is a motion to set aside. So she can make a motion to set aside the default judgment. Now, she does need to have a valid excuse, right? So not receiving the claim could be if...
No, you set up a GoFundMe. You talked about it. That is not going to happen.
If the service, all types of service were invalid. But I guarantee you that at least one type of service that they used on this, whether it was, hand delivery or publication or some sort of substitute service, was legally sufficient to provide notice of service or sufficient service to proceed with the case.
Well, she already
They're
knew
not
it.
going to issue the default judgment typically if there was completely bunk service. But the burden would be on Frogi to prove that. And beyond that,
there's no way she can prove that, especially if he said it and she acknowledged it the entire time.
You'd have to have something like illness or extreme emergency. And as far as we know, in the Frogan case, Frogan is not in the hospital. Frogan is not under extreme emergency. Frogan was not in a crisis zone.
Well, I think that she is. I mean, the rents probably do, and that's not going so well, I would assume. But she does have that extra $35,000, so maybe things will be okay.
She's not somewhere where bad stuff is going down.
Yeah, surely.
Right. Or she'd have to prove a procedural error.
Unless the judge is sympathetic to Frogan. What do you think? Do you think the judges are going to be sympathetic to Frogan?
Right. However, she has to respond to do this. And that response has to be very prompt and persuasive. So she'd have to do that anyway.
Oh, that's good.
So she's going to have to
no Peruski,
go
guys.
back, write the court, and explain why she did not respond before, etc. And the judge is not obliged to accept that. The judge can say, I don't accept this. We're still sticking with the default.